All right, Coach. Really weird game, really weird fourth quarter. Just give me your thoughts about this past week's game.
Yeah, it was one of those games that it was a really good football game. There's no doubt about that. And UTPB is they deserved to win. They played well, and I thought we played hard with it. We just settled for a few field goals throughout the whole game, and trying to punch the ball in there. We needed to do that, and defensively, I thought. We struggled a lot on third downs, getting off the field. We put them into 3rd and 4, 5, 6, 7, 12 a few times, and they converted. So that's hats off to them. Our guys. We executed well at times. I felt like we just needed to, when our number was called individually, need to make some plays, and that's what it came down to. And we didn't, and they did, and. So it was a really good football game. They're a good football team. I mean, they've won 7 games for a reason, and that we just felt like on our end of things we kind of self-imploded on certain things. We had some penalties that we didn't weren't typical of what we've done and had in the past. We've had some that we didn't like as well on some of the calls and that, but that's football and that's the way things go. But just opportunities lost, I think in some of the possessions that we had on offense, and and then not having a lot of possessions in the game. I think we had 10 total for the game, and that's something that's not a big number when it gets into it. So, that part of it hurt us a little bit. You can't complain when you score a touchdown on special teams on a blocked field goal. That takes away one of your offensive possessions, so to speak, because defense goes back on. So you don't complain about those. But just getting off the field more on third down defensively would have helped and stuff. But again, that's hats off to them, and they did a really good job of preparing for us.
Yeah, like I said, it was uncharacteristic because you mentioned some of those things, a couple of turnovers. It was just so much of this game was not how you guys typically play. Yeah. So whenever you put out a performance like that, what do you chalk that up to as a coach? What do you tell the players? What is that interaction like?
Yeah, the turnover part of it I don't worry about too much in that. For Saturday's turnover, usually you obviously worry about turnovers, but both interceptions were thrown. One was a Hail Mary at the end of the game. The other one was 4th and 20. Trying to throw the ball downfield. So that part of it I don't read much into on the turnovers. With it, but you got to get the guys to continue to play. It's executing, and again, I'll go back and say it again. When it's your number's called to make a play, it's time to do that. And we have a veteran group, and you got to get those guys to understand the execution. All the way throughout the whole game is huge. It doesn't seem like a big deal on 3rd and 7 when they complete an 8-yard slant route, but it is, because it takes another possession away, because they did that 3 times in a row on the same drive. So when you have a 17-play drive, and that ends in a blocked field goal, on that kind of stuff, that still takes away possessions. And and same thing on offense. When you don't execute and score touchdowns instead of kicking field goals, that hurts you. You got to go down and convert on third down offensively. And I'm very proud of our field goal team. We did a great job. We kicked the ball through the uprights and had good protection for the most part on it. And that's nothing against Brad. Brad's done a great job of kicking for us, but you want touchdowns instead of field goals. And I thought on special teams, minus the 2 plays, that obviously setting the tone in the second half of that. We don't catch a kickoff return and we take over on the 1-yard line. That's not good. That's something that we need to do better. And then they had a fake punt on us, and that's on me on that one. I thought about it, I really did, and thought about keeping our defense in there and being a safe punt because we needed the ball back. And we had a really good scheme this week on special teams on punt block. We felt like we could get home, and what better time than the situation we were in when they ran it. But hats off to them. They had a great call to it. We thought about being in punt safe, and I truly did, but I didn't do it. And I wanted to try to go get a deal, and we missed a tackle, and they got it. So I felt like we executed for the most part pretty well, but there were just times like individual plays and individual situations. We just got to step up and make plays when they're in front of us.
And a lot of times, I know in the NFL, a lot of teams look at specific opponents as like a measuring stick game. Obviously, this was a really tough opponent. You guys fell a little bit short, but where do you see this team at right now? Where do you feel like you guys stand? Because it's been an up and down kind of game.
Yeah, I think we're a really good football team. We've had 3 tough losses, to 3 teams that, quite frankly, right now, and between the 3 teams that we've lost to, their record is 20-1 compared to, within Division II games. So, that doesn't make us feel any better with it, but we're playing those type of teams, and that's what we want. And the teams that are in our Lone Star Conference, like, they need to start getting recognized nationally with what this conference is about. From top to bottom, if you don't play well in our conference, you can lose, and that's awesome. That's what I want. That's what this conference needs to get back to, and they are. That this conference is getting back to that. So, 3 tough losses. When I told our guys after the game, the football's shaped differently than a basketball, than a volleyball, than a softball and baseball, right? It's different. Sometimes it bounces your way, and sometimes it doesn't. And this year it's kind of felt like it hasn't a few times on things, but in years past it has. So that's football, and we just got to continue to play hard and practice hard and get better and still feel good about a season. There's things. We would have loved to have that 11th game, on that part, but we only got 10. So. If there's any shot at anything moving forward, it's minute, but at the same time, it's go out and play for something and play for pride and play for the program and the guy next to you. So hopefully that's something our guys will do. And there's no doubt in my mind we will. There was some great energy in the locker room afterwards, even after a tough loss, and talking to them, you could see it in their faces. They're hurting, but at the same time, it's they're eager to get back on the field and hopefully make some strides this week and get better.
Coach, do you feel like that now that y'all are kind of on the outside looking in? Of course, season's not over if people start losing, But do you think that this will give your team an opportunity just to let see some of the younger guys make something happen, or do you think it's just going to be one of those you're just going to go out there and really just put the best product out there that y'all absolutely can?
Yeah, no doubt. There's always that room, when you get behind the 8 ball a little bit to panic and do some things different. There's no doubt we want to continue to develop young players, but we're going to still put out our guys, the guys that have been doing it. And again, you look at the losses that we've had and look at the wins that we had. We've done it with some great leadership in there. So we just got to hang in there and right the ship and get back to the winning ways. All the other stuff outside of it, whether it's playoffs and Lone Star Conference and all that kind of thing, that's nothing that's in our grasp anymore, in the sense of we're under control or we're control of it. Other people are. We're going to go out and play our game and continue to compete and improve the program and try to get better with day-to-day work. But there's other things that are just outside of our reach right now that we don't have any control over. So we're just going to go out and play. But to answer your question, we want to continue to develop our young players, but at the same time, we're going to go out there to win every single football game we play.
And you have another big one this weekend. Travel. Play West Texas A&M.
Yeah.
That's another good team. What kind of response do you expect from the Rams this weekend?
Well, I expect our leaders in the locker room to step up and get these guys ready to play again outside of our coaches. And West Texas A&M is a new staff in there. Coach Lynn, he's very familiar with the Lone Star Conference. He was head coach at Eastern New Mexico. He's done a great job. You just watch them on film. And every single week they're getting better, And again, it's a whole new staff, a new everything. They're playing with a freshman quarterback who's a really good football player. We loved him, through here. He came to a couple of our camps and stuff. But he's, they're getting better and better each and every week, And they're a dangerous football team, and I know that because they're coached well. And so we're gonna have to go out and play well and do that. But I think our seniors, our leaders in this program, are up for that challenge to go up there. It's it's a neat facility to go play in and that, so it should be some good energy to it. But there's no doubt, man, if we don't play well, you can take a loss in this conference fast.
You talked about those situations where y'all had to settle for field goals rather than touchdowns. What was so different about UTPB's defense that kind of stunned y'all a little bit offensively?
Yeah, I mean, they're just good. They're huge up front in the D-line. I thought we blocked them well for the most part on things. But they just made plays. It gets down to those individual plays, the 3rd and 3s and the things like that where we're not getting those 3 yards. So, same thing about, catching a ball or, making a block here. I mean, there's just, and on defense, getting off, on 3rd downs, getting off the field. But, it just came down to those individual plays. UTPB is well coached. And again, they're a whole new staff as well. There's a lot of excitement in that program, and rightfully so. And, we just didn't match it, at times. I felt like, man, we do really well on 1st and 2nd down and getting 6 yards, 4 yards, 3 yards, to move it. And then we get to third down and struggle. So they tightened up the defense a little bit on third downs, and we had to settle for some field goals. But it's just one of those things. You look back on it, and I don't know. The only time I kicked a field goal that I wouldn't have done it, maybe looking back, would be the first one. It gave us the lead, but at the same time, it was early in the game. The other 2 field goals either gave us the lead or extended the lead. So, I felt like that was the right thing to do at the time. And Brad's a good kicker. He's fun to watch and execute what he does. So, should I have gone for it on fourth down on the first series? Maybe. That's something early in the game where you can recover from. But I felt like the other 2 times were opportunities to take the lead or extend it right before halftime. So those are the things you go back as a coach and look at and decide. But defensively, I just thought that UTPB played strong up front. Their nose guard, the defensive tackle, number 2, Victor, he's a great football player, and they have a linebacker that's been playing there, I think, for 10 years. It seems like number 42 is a really good football player. So they did some good things to us and caused us some problems.
Case and Cooper again this week, and Pitts. Just talk about what these 2 guys bring to the team and their energy level week in and week out.
Well, they're good football players. They go out and provide us, some comfort out there at the corner position, and UTPB, they got him a few times. They did some good things with some vertical push, back shoulder throws and stuff like that. But those 2 guys just compete at a high level all the time. I think Coop maybe blocked the punt, or I know Pitts blocked the field goal, and Coop tried to pick it up, and then Pitts ended up getting it running for a touchdown. But those guys they bring a lot of energy to it. They have played very consistent football over their careers, and there are leaders in the back end in the sense of at corner position. I think they're both up there in interceptions and stuff. And Pitts probably doesn't get as much work, as many throws to him on his side, but when he does, he usually makes pretty good plays. So great football players, great young men, and they provide a lot of help for us.
And then this week, both teams are looking to get back into the win column. What does the Rams need to do or keep an eye on with WT to ensure the win?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you one thing that they're going to be is they're going to be a team. WT plays so hard. Watch them, and that's the sign of a Coach Lynn coach football team. He gets his kids ready to play, and they play hard. So going up there and matching that, and there's going to be some excitement with it, and so we got to go out there and play our game. That's the biggest thing. I just don't know that we got to go and stick with our game plan like we have been and doing it, and eventually trust that the ball is going to bounce our way once in a while on things. But you got to make your own breaks too. And I think just going out and competing at a high level, executing, and again, I've said it a couple times, when your number's called, to go out and execute and do your job. And if we can do that, we can be successful. And it's going to be a tough challenge though, going up there and playing. But we're looking forward to it. It's when you take a loss like we did this past weekend, the first thing you want to do is get right back on the field. And again, I think we're a really good football team. We just, we've lost 3 tight games to 3 good teams, and their games in the past we've won, and we're not right now. But again, that's football, and our guys understand that. And the neat thing about our situation, you always got to find some good, right, with it, is it's not an effort thing at all. Our kids prepare hard during practice in the week. They play hard. They make mistakes, and we as coaches make mistakes and do those things. But at the end of the day, it's not an effort thing. So you can fix that and hopefully get a chance to go out and do that this week.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.